The time is just gone 9:36 a.m. And yesterday we've seen some breaking news coming through, particularly from UK, from Cage in UK, talking about Dr. Aafia Siddiqui calling for public support after serious assault in a Texas prison. And Dr. Afia said, and according to this message, the fact that I'm not blind is a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And since then, we've seen trending on Twitter and on other social media platforms, hashtag Afia's life is in danger, hashtag Dr. Afia attacked in jail. And this morning, we're joined on the line by her sister, Dr. Fouzia Siddiqui. Dr. Fouzia, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak and welcome, as always, to Salam Media.
Alaikum assalam, Brother Anayat, and Jummah Mubarak to all of you.
Yes. Now, obviously, this is of concern, and having a look at this message where Aafia is calling for public support, the serious assault, and also the fact that saying that she's not blind is a miracle from Allah. What do we know about this assault that has taken place, Dr. Fouzia?
Yes, Brother. Yes, brothers. The thing is that recently we had managed to retain a lawyer, Marwa Al-Baili, for visits with Aafia. So during her last visit, which was in July, I think July 31st, when she went, she saw that Aafia, she was shocked to see that Aafia was terribly injured, and her whole face was burnt, and on inquiry, she was informed, and Aafia told her that she had just called herself. So one of the inmates who had been harassing her for quite a while, and Aafia had been complaining both to the Consul General in his visit, to the Pakistan embassy, and also to Marwa, that, this prisoner is constantly harassing me. And so she had curled into a fetal position, and the prisoner smashed a boiling cup of coffee onto her face, which injured her face and burnt it as well. And there were burn marks elsewhere. From our understanding and from some of the prison medical records, this does not seem to be the first assault that Aafia has had to face. There are several injuries that are reported over the past 2 years.
Yes.
But this one is to the extent of facial injuries, which it was usually arm or leg.
Yes. Now, obviously, the health officials at the prison have basically confirmed these injuries, and the fact of the matter that they mentioned that, this is not the first time this has happened. So it's been happening over a period of time. What about the lawyer? Has the lawyer been talking to the prison authorities? Are they doing something about it?
From the last information that I received, which is of 17th of August, from the lawyer, the last email says that on inquiry, on request of an inquiry, she was informed that this is a complex issue, in quotes, and it will take about 9 months for her to get any kind of proper information. And this was very upsetting because and Aafia has been placed in the administrative unit, which means she has no access to commissary or to any of her belongings, to a pen or a paper or her Quran or anything. And she's in a complete solitary administrative unit.
Obviously, Dr. Fouzia, I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. What could be so complex? I mean, you've got someone who is being brutally assaulted by a fellow prisoner, and when you talk about the time frame of 9 months, so it does appear as if the prison authorities are not treating this with the urgency that it deserves.
Oh, of course. Obviously, it doesn't make sense. And I really do not understand. And so that is why, I figured that when, the courts fail you, there's the court of public opinion.
Well, certainly. Now, just moving away from Aafia and the assault, on Wednesday night, I hosted a program looking at Afghanistan and the latest development with the Taliban returning to power as a government. And I raised this issue with Dr. Yvonne Ridley, who was part of the panel. And I asked her a specific question with regard to Aafia and the prisoners. And Yvonne Ridley was of the opinion that this is something that needs to be revisited in the wake of, Aafia having allegedly committing this crime in Afghanistan, and she should have been tried in Afghanistan. And just looking at the Taliban and whether there is a possibility of the new Taliban government once again revisiting the issue of Aafia to secure her release.
I think there is something that needs to be revisited. After all, Aafia was renditioned from Afghanistan to the U.S., whereas she being a Pakistani citizen, and if any alleged incident or crime had occurred, she should have been sent to her country, according to the Geneva Convention.
Definitely.
So, yes, the new government definitely, and also she is a victim of the war of terror, and she's a victim of the now totally discredited war. And I think as all victims are being released, Aafia too should be released. And I think President Joe Biden's next step, if he wants to make any success out of their withdrawal, should be to release the victims in Guantanamo Bay and Aafia and others like her who have been trapped with just no crime, but just because of preemptive prosecution.
Yes, obviously this would have be a very important initiative because, when we see in the initial statement that was issued by the Taliban in terms of providing blanket forgiveness and amnesty to those who had wronged the Taliban, and obviously the issue surrounding all the other prisoners, and Aafia Siddiqui has got to be treated in the same light, Dr. Fouzia.
I do tend to agree with this, but let's see who has the humanity in them to do so.
Well, inshallah.
And the courage.
Well, definitely, Dr. Fouzia. Well, inshallah, we hope and pray. And obviously, the struggle for Aafia's release will continue, irrespective of what happens and who says what. And at the end of the day, we will still continue. We will continue making dua for you, for your family, for Aafia, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala secure her release and unite her with her family, inshallah. But as always, Dr. Fouzia, Jazakallah for your time. We do appreciate you taking time out and talking to us here at Salam Media. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. And always, as always, I'm always grateful to you and to Salam Media for remembering us.
Ameen.
Looking to get your kick? Kiki's have now reopened on 235